The jury's out and Gervonta Davis has come out on top and successfully defended his WBA lightweight title against Frank Martin. So what's next for the Ghost? Turns out he's got no more fights in him after this humiliating defeat. Yep, you heard that right. Martin has dropped the bombshell. He's calling it quits for good. I know you have a million questions about this surprise announcement, so tune in as I answer them all in this video.
All that tough shit, I'm not worried about it. Nobody can fight for you, nobody can fight for me. We in that motherfucker, June 15th. We in there, June 15th.
Get this. The Saturday night lightweight title fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas turned out to be a game changer for both the opponents, but one of them is getting the worse end of it. Both fighters entered the ring undefeated, but only one could walk out with the title, and it was Tank Davis. Gervonta stepped into the ring for the first time after he put Ryan Garcia to sleep on the canvas in April 2023. It was high time for him after being on house arrest for the better half of 2023, but man did he come through. Martin, on the other hand, was also fresh off a win by unanimous decision over Artem Harutyunyan in July of last year. This bout really was like candy to the eye of boxing fans as we got to see the blend of two completely opposite styles. Davis is a fighter who finishes the fight with one punch, while Martin is all about more strategy and better technique. But sometimes the perfect KO punch really takes over and dominates the game. The fight itself was one hell of a roller coaster and kept fans on their tippy toes from the start. From the first bell, both fighters showed incredible skill. Martin gave it his all, landing some impressive shots and showcasing his trademark footwork. However, he couldn't outdo Tank, who with his relentless power and precision proved why he's considered the best in the sport. In the end, Tank was able to snag yet another victory to add to his impressive record. But it wasn't the fight that took fight fans by surprise, it was what happened after. At the post-fight press conference, Frank made an announcement that no one saw coming. I don't know about you, but I for sure didn't. I thought the athlete had more fights left in him, but it looks like this humiliating loss has rubbed him the wrong way. The Ghost announced his retirement from professional boxing. Now, from his statement, you can tell that this wasn't a career decision, it was more of a personal one. The athlete has been through hell and back, both inside and outside the ring, and this fight was the tipping point for him. Frank was known as one of the most formidable fighters in the lightweight division. There's no denying that he's giving us some unforgettable fights, and has built quite a reputation for himself. Fans were eager to see if he could take down Tank Davis in the ring, but no one really thought of what would happen if he failed to do so. Gervonta was criticized for not facing the best of his division, and his fight with the unbeaten Frank Martin was his way of shutting down the critics.
I'm happy to be here. This is gonna be what y'all laughing at? You know, I can't top Lenny Ellerby. He can talk. You know, that's just about all he can do.
Welterweight star Errol Spence Jr. warned Gervonta that he would have his work cut out for him against Frank, and Davis just sat there laughing. Guess Tank Davis knew what he was getting himself into and didn't take this one lightly at all. The fight odds were in his favor, so the athlete just lived up to his name. A lot of boxing pros expected him to be a little sluggish after his hiatus and house arrest, but this guy came in more prepared than ever. He was treating this bout like any other fight and didn't let the pressure get to him at all. Tank Davis said, he's a front runner. He put on for the people that he comes with here because they think they're thugs and sorts yard like that. But I'm telling you, it's a different beast in front of him. Nobody that's walking with him, holding him hand in hand, is going to be able to save him June 15th. I'm telling you. And it's a lot of Simon built up, and I'm going to take it out on him. Sorry, it's going to be him. June 15th, 2024 will go down in history as the night Gervonta Davis ruined a career. And of not just any boxer, but Frank Martin. Martin made his pro boxing debut in 2017 against John Edward Lawquette and made his first mark in the lightweight division. His knockout victory against John made it clear that he was going to be a force to be reckoned with in the ring. This was only the start. The Detroit native then went on an epic winning spree, and there was no end to his hype train until he stepped into the ring with Gervonta. Before losing to Tank Davis, Martin built one hell of a career that took him places. See, Mom, earning a title shot against Davis says a lot about the athlete's record.
All of it's like getting hit. Oh!
Oh, down it goes Perez! Oh, my goodness!
Wow. That's what the jab does.
His unforgettable fight with Romero Duno is just another example of the athlete's greatness. This victory was an epic milestone for Frank as he took down an opponent known for his power. Frank has had an epic career with 18 wins and one newly added loss, and if you ask me, that's a good record. So does this mean he's achieved all he needed to in the ring? Well, here's the thing. The athlete still hasn't won any championships, and he blew his shot last night. Of course, that doesn't mean he can't bag another title shot. Come on, he's Frank Martin after all. The athlete's boxing career is only a little over half a decade old now, so you can't really say he's been in the pro ring for half his life. On top of that, the athlete's only 29, and that is still pretty young. Many boxers consider retirement when they hit 35 or are pushing 40s. If you ask me, this man has still got a good career ahead of him if he doesn't throw it away. But turns out he has made his decision and Frank is saying goodbye. This comes as a shock to boxing fans because Frank went into this bout believing that he could take Gervonta down and was planning ahead. You know, next opponents and all. While appearing on the Pivot podcast, Frank said, "I feel like this is going to be one of those things. You got to think he is like in this era right now, he is like Floyd Mayweather. He's not supposed to be beaten. So I just feel like, man, when it happens, it's going to send some shockwaves." I guess he ruled out all chances of him losing, and this loss really took a toll on him. Former NFL player Ryan Clark probed him about how big of an upset it would be if he defeated Davis while comparing his fight to Mike Tyson's infamous bout against James Buster Douglas and the match between the New York Giants and the New England Patriots at Super Bowl X1. Plus, the sparring session between the two played a significant role in turning the tables on fight night. Hear me out. Sparring footage revealed that Frank Martin hurt Gervonta in the ring, and that changed everything for the upcoming fight. Despite Martin being an underdog, fight fans had started to root for him.
He's southpaw. He threw the brick hand. Boom. That's what caught me. But it wasn't like no boom, and I'm like.
Gervonta said on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, "You caught me one time. I sparred already. He was scared to spar. I jumped on him. He's a southpaw. He threw the brick hand. Boom, that's what caught me." But Tank Davis made it clear that he wasn't going to let a sparring session dictate the bout on fight night, and he was absolutely right about it. Well, all's done now. Everything aside, this was one epic fight for fans to watch. Both fighters made weight at the official weigh-in for the bout. Tank Davis coming in at 133.4 pounds and Martin 1 pound heavier at 134.4 pounds. The build-up to the fight was really tense, and the tension only grew over the course of fight week. Who doesn't love a good build-up? The opponents shared an intense face-off, jawing back and forth with each other. Martin was more fired up than Gervonta. Yeah, Tank Davis likes to keep it cool, but Martin wasn't holding back. He's paying the price for it now. You know what they say. There's a thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Martin somehow crossed this one. While his retirement came as a surprise, it doesn't mean he'll be completely gone for good now. You may be wondering, what's next for Martin? And while I don't have all the answers, here's what I know so far. The athlete is retiring from pro boxing, but that doesn't mean he can't step into the ring for some good old exhibition bouts. It's the era of influencer and exhibition boxing. Plus, Jake Paul is always looking for new opponents. It's clear that while Frank Martin may be stepping away from the ring, his influence on the sport will continue. Well, I guess we gotta wait and see what's in store for Frank Martin. Fill the comments with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.